Hey, I used to live out there myself. San Fernando Valley.
The movie starts with a couple leaving on a trip. Alec and Nora goes on a long overdue trip to a quiet area in the countryside.
Remember, I was gonna take this on. I'm sorry.
So, when's the next rest stop?
Since it was the countryside, there were no rest stops, so they stopped in front of a store to use the restroom. But the store's doors were tightly shut, so finally decided to quietly take care of it in the back. But a suspicious trace, an abandoned wallet and a phone. Putting the suspiciousness behind, they continue on their trip. While going on, this time found a woman on the road.
We got jumper cables. Try to start it.
Alec, being kind, helps the woman with her car, but all of a sudden the woman starts to badmouth Alec and Nora.
Look, we're trying to help you.
Help me! Did I ask for help?
Saying how unable Alec and greedy Nora was.
I know she was gonna be crabby and angry. I thought I was being nice.
This is why I avoid the country.
Leaving behind the strange women, arrived at a restaurant. They ordered cheeseburger, fries, and a coffee to fill up their empty stomachs. But there is a man glaring at the two of them.
I'm sure he just likes new people.
Eventually even starting a fight with Nora.
You're not safe here.
You okay?
Yeah, no, I'm great.
Everything seemed strange, but they let it go thinking it was because it was the countryside. As the fuel was running out, they discover a gas station, and the owner of the gas station recommends a place to spend the night.
Have a nice day.
You too.
Yeah.
You too.
Just make sure it's something that is not sketchy. He's a little creepy and just...
Because it was so deserted, they started to worry without even going there. But fortunately, the accommodations had a lot of cars parked. They go into the accommodation with relief, and thankfully, there were traces of people. They soon met with the owner and were escorted to their rooms. The room was in better shape than they thought, and the owner was a nice person in spite of his first impression.
Have a good night.
Yeah.
You too.
You too. Thank you.
Thanks.
See you tomorrow.
So they fall asleep, and a suspicious person is under their bed. The next day, the place Nora woke up in was inside a small cage. There was no one around to ask for help. Then a masked man appears and scares Nora. And then a cow mask appeared with a bottle of water. The second time she woke up, her hands and feet were tied. This time a rabbit mask came and injected something into Nora's body. After the rabbit mask leaves, the cow mask appears and put her back into the cage again, and then drags her somewhere. She could see the masked villagers through the gaps. Everyone is working hard wearing animal masks. Meanwhile, she arrives somewhere and gets thrown into an unknown place. That place was a slaughterhouse where cows were getting slaughtered. In the cage with Nora were numerous men. Among them was Alec. Then a group of masks appeared and started to strike the men on their heads with hammers, and put them into a cart and started to head to the slaughterhouse. Soon after, the men became pieces of meat.
Hey man, the food has to be ready to go in 3 hours. We're cooking for about 80 people. We really have to be on our toes with this scene. Do you think you can manage that?
Hey, everybody! The food has to be ready to go in 2.5 hours.
This was a cruel place where they capture people and make them into meat.
And at what time were you thinking of coming by?
Hotter is coming. I guess we could use a bit of our dairy livestock a bit early.
Men were made into meat, and women were made to produce milk. The substance injected into Nora was sperm and made Nora pregnant, in order for her to produce milk. And when the baby was born after 10 months, they would mercilessly kill the baby.
fun.
When she is no longer able to get pregnant, the women will also become pieces of meat. This time, someone comes in front of Nora's door. That someone was Alec.
Alec, oh my god, get out of here. Okay, I got you.
They started to escape carefully, avoiding the guards. But Alec was injured, and so escaping on foot wasn't easy, so they decided to steal a truck. But the truck wouldn't start, and they once again run away from the masks that caught on.
Go now, come on.
Meanwhile, they find a church this time, but the cow mask had arrived just in time. They carefully try to run away, but get caught. To make matters worse, Alec gets caught in a trap.
I'm sorry.
Eventually, Nora escapes on her own, and Alec dies. Nora gets chased to the cage filled with the people from before.
Bus they used to transport us.
She asks the person inside on how to escape and finds out that there is a bus bringing people in. She avoids the masks in order to get the keys for the bus and encounters a mask stealing a car. She succeeds in stealing the car. But happiness didn't last long, and they were chasing right behind her. Will Nora be able to escape this crazy village? Why were the villagers committing such crazy acts towards people? It has been The Farm, the movie. The Farm is a movie that wants to seem like it has a message criticizing the humans' behaviors towards domestic animals. Due to the frank way the message was delivered, you can acknowledge the director's purposes, but to the audience felt a sense of displeasure. That might be a reason why the viewers picked the short runtime as the movie's only positive feature. The fact that the positive feature comes from shortening the pain of watching the movie is very interesting. So this movie isn't recommended for most. If and only if you are interested in watching this film after watching my review, I recommend watching it once. I will finish this video of introducing The Farm. It has been Daily Movies Recap. Thank you.